Hey, Jeremiah.
Oh, what's up, Ben?
Not much. Mike's deadlifting again, huh?
Again, it's like 450. Ah! Oh, God.
He did it again.
He did it again.
He's got to stop doing all that straight bar conventional deadlifting from the floor.
You really think that's what's doing it?
Yeah, he's hurting himself because he keeps picking that as his movement pattern. I totally think that.
I feel like that's the one exercise that everybody should be doing.
Well, I respectfully disagree. Should we take it to the judge?
Again, yeah, fine.
I'm Dr. Ben Quist.
And I'm fitness expert Jeremiah Kruger.
And today we're putting the conventional barbell deadlift from the floor on trial. Is he sleeping?
I can't tell what's going on. I'm not sure. Should we speak?
I don't know.
Because I have to deal with you two today. Opening statements, let's start with you, Mr. Quist.
Hello, Your Honor. I don't know if I'm supposed to call you that or not. I am here to argue today that the conventional straight bar deadlift from the floor has much more inherent risk than most people understand. And it's an exercise that should be picked with caution. And if you do select it as an exercise that you're going to do, it should be performed with even more caution. Again, I'm talking about the straight bar conventional deadlift from the floor. I'm not talking about the Romanian deadlift. I'm not talking about a deadlift with a trap bar. I'm not talking about a deadlift with a kettlebell. I'm not talking about a deadlift with rubber bands. I'm not talking about a partial range deadlift from blocks. I am talking, Your Honor, about the conventional straight bar deadlift from the floor.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, you're talking about the conventional straight bar deadlift from the floor. Okay. And now you, Mr. Kruger, your opening statements. You have 15 seconds. Go.
15 seconds? Why do I get timed?
Because you irritate me more. You have 10 seconds.
Okay, I'll speak. My argument, Your Honor, is that the conventional barbell deadlift from the floor is an exercise that everybody should be doing precisely because it is difficult to perform. If you can master this movement, your injury resilience goes up. In addition to that, it's a great muscle and strength building exercise for your entire body. And then on top of that, if you're going to pick stuff up from the floor, what type of movement do you have to do? It pays to be good with the barbell conventional from the floor deadlift.
That was over 20 seconds, Mr. Kruger. I'm disregarding half of that statement. Mr. Quist, back to you.
Yes, I know that people have to pick heavy things up from the floor in real life. And also I know that that is the number one way in real life that people injure themselves, as well as one of the number one ways they injure themselves in the gym.
He's got a point, Mr. Kruger. I don't like getting boo-boos like the next person.
Boo-boos? I don't like getting boo-boos either. You know, in fact, I don't think anybody likes getting boo-boos. If you have the right coach to teach you how to do a conventional straight bar deadlift from the floor, this is going to make it way safer to perform this exercise in the gym, which will translate into real life.
That's very true, Mr. Kruger. If you have the right coach, you'll be able to perform a trap bar Romanian deadlift from blocks pretty easily. A trap bar convention. Shop and keep going.
Yes, I agree with a good coach or good personal trainer with some proper mobility techniques, some good assessment, some good form coaching. You can make the straight bar conventional bar deadlift from the floor better and safer, but most people don't have the luxury of having a professional coach. And there are many other movement patterns in the Hinge family that are just a lot safer and provide just as much benefit as that move does.
Okay, but a deadlift is a deadlift. What is the difference between any variation of deadlift or hinge?
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's go take a field trip to the gym. Okay, let's first tackle the kind of thought process that there are certain exercises that are inherently more dangerous than other exercises. And anybody that tells you that that's not true is either uninformed or, I don't want to say the other thing. And hinging is inherently one of the most dangerous movement patterns because of the structure of the human body. But within the realm of hinging, which we all have to do, of course, there is a range of different exercises that are either more or less dangerous, and they all have more or less benefit as well. And So if we are going to graph them out, when a coach or when you as an individual are making exercise selection in the Hinge category, or really any category, what you want to look at is on this axis, what exercise has the most benefit for you versus how much risk does that exercise have, okay? And if we graph out a couple of them on the Hinge movement pattern, we can kind of put them on here. We can kind of see which ones might be more logical, better choices for us to make. So if you were to do a deficit deadlift with a straight bar, I would say that that has probably a pretty extreme level of risk. Also has quite a bit of benefit, so that exercise is going to land you somewhere right about here on the graph. If you move it down to a conventional deadlift from the floor, it's going to be a little bit less of a risk as far as injuring your tissue, and it's going to be still of high benefit. But then as we start to think, as we move this direction, if we go to a trap bar deadlift, it's going to shift even more this direction. You're still getting substantial amount of benefit from the exercise, but the risk is going way down. If we shift it to a kettlebell deadlift, if we shift it to maybe coming up from blocks, a reduced range of motion deadlift, you're going to be somewhere in that range. So there are so many ways to make that movement pattern better that are still of the exact same benefit as these ones over here that are more dangerous. And it's not that you're going to get injured every single time you try these types of movements, it's just that the likelihood is much higher. So when I think of our responsibility as coaches, or even if you're an individual trying to pick what the best exercise is, our goal should be trying to shift to the exercises of our high benefit but lower risk. If you're a coach and you're selecting things over here, I really think that's somewhat irresponsible if you don't have a very specific reason why you're doing those movement patterns with the individual, or if you have not fully explained that you passed up on all of this stuff up over here that's just as beneficial, and you moved over here, and here are the risks involved to doing these types of patterns. The client at least should be aware of that, and you should be making them aware of that. So let's go to the exercise floor now, and let's take a bigger peek at why some of these other patterns are safer for you in the Hinge category. So the first inherent issue with straight bar deadlifting is the fact that there's a certain amount of distance you have to take it from the floor when you're doing a conventional deadlift. So that distance is roughly about 9 inches from the floor. And the problem with that is some people, when they come down to get into position, they just simply don't have the range of motion at their hips and hamstrings to be able to get all the way down without flexing at their lower back or losing a spine neutral position. And that's why some of the moves, like a deadlift off of blocks or a Romanian deadlift coming from the top down and not going all the way down, shift the risk down and make it a little bit of a safer move to do. The second issue that happens with a straight bar conventional deadlift from the floor, one of the reasons that it's higher on the risk spectrum is the line of pull that occurs from the lumbar spine to the bar. So you're going to have kind of a straight angled line of pull coming across. And what that line of pull coming in that direction, and it's just physics, it's going to put a lot more pressure on the anterior part of your discs, causing that mechanism of injury for that disc bulge or that disc herniation to be much more frequent in that movement pattern. If we look at the line of pull with a trap bar deadlift, and we take the line from the lumbar spine to down where the weight is, you can see that that line is much further back. That line is way far forward in that straight bar deadlift, and it shifts backwards, creating a lot less pressure on the discs of the back and making it a safer move to do. And that will be the same thing with any of those moves where the weight is coming closer to the body, like a kettlebell deadlift, and anything of that nature. If you want more of an explanation on the mechanics of the deadlift, you can actually check out the first video that Jeremiah and ever made. What was it called? The biggest mistake you could ever make with
While deadlifting.
While deadlifting, something like that. So
It's something to get right.
All right, gentlemen, closing statements. And while you do that, I'm going to go do a conventional straight bar deadlift from the floor. Bye.
Your Honor, in closing, I would like to say that individuals that are pushing the straight bar conventional deadlift from the floor on social media or professional coaches that are pushing it with their clients as if it's the best thing since sliced bread are doing everybody a great disservice. If you're a trainer and you're selecting that exercise for the mother of 3 who's 42 years old who just started training at your gym and you're putting that in there and she ends up herniating a disc in her back because that pattern is inherently more dangerous like we discussed, some of those injuries are some of the worst ones you can get. you might not have use of your leg, you might never be able to bend over and put your shoes on normally, you might not be able to get out of bed, you might end up having multiple surgeries because of that exercise. And if I had a coach or a professional trainer that didn't tell me there were safer alternatives that I could have done, but they were just so married to the straight bar conventional deadlift from the floor that they had to do that movement pattern with me, I would be pissed.
Ooh, those are kind of bad boo-boos. Your Honor, I kind of had a change of heart. I want to end with a question. With all that information, with all that being said, knowing there are safer options, why would anybody want to do a conventional straight bar deadlift from the floor? Comment below. So as always, thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate it. Give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to stay tuned for more.
And most importantly, everybody, have a great day.